At Paddington Station, it's a wet and windy start for the 40,000 passengers who pass through the station on their morning commute. Paddington is a marvel of Victorian engineering, but the listed train shed sometimes struggles to cope in the face of the great British weather. And heading Paddington's way is a major storm, and she's got a name.
Hello and a very good evening to you. We've now got very heavy rain and strong winds across western areas, and it's all been down to Storm Eleanor, as you can see here, tracking her way eastwards as we go through the next 12 to 24 hours. Much of the UK is tucked underneath a weather warning. Severe gales in place. Could be a few disruptions out there, so do take extra care.
Yep. We are expecting some bad weather from this evening onwards for the next 2 days.
At route control, Ian Willett is preparing for the worst.
High wind is the biggest concern, but also a considerable amount of rain on land, which has already taken a lot of rainfall in the last week or so.
Storm Eleanor is due to hit the UK with wind gusts of up to 90 miles per hour, and Network Rail is on major alert.
So the reason for this conference, it's in relation to the weather warning that is for today and tomorrow. In short, it is advertised as extreme for heavy wind and rain for West Country South and West Country North.
You're looking at trees coming down possibly. You're looking at maybe having items blown onto the track as well.
So we've got winds increasing through this afternoon by 1800 this afternoon. We should be seeing gusts of 50 to 55 coming into Cornwall and Devon. And then over the 3 or 4 hours following that, we could see some slightly stronger gusts again, possibly getting up to around 70 miles an hour.
In order to protect the network's infrastructure, including 900 miles of vulnerable track, extra staff are being brought in to work through the night.
So we've got 2 chainsaw competent staff based in Worcester covering Gloucester-Worcester area, and we've got another 2 based in Bristol covering the Bristol area.
The teams down there are already putting plans in place to have staff at strategic locations to respond in the morning and during the day. If we do come across any obstructions on the line, then we've got the equipment and resources to start dealing with it.
It's early morning, and across the country, commuters are waking up to a trail of destruction left in the wake of Storm Eleanor.
The night guy had a really rough night, so it was all kind of a bit up in the air when I walked in this morning at 10 to 7 this morning.
It's going to be a bit rubbish for you, so enjoy.
It's the start of a challenging day on the railways. The smallest weather-related incident can cause major problems.
It's not uncommon to find a Wendy house has blown onto a track or a trampoline or some garden furniture.
There is one part of the rail infrastructure that is particularly at risk. Billions are being spent on the electrification of the western route, and Storm Eleanor will severely test how the network stands up to extreme weather.
One of the vulnerabilities of overhead wires is stray foliage, plastic damage to the overhead wires. Extreme weather can damage all that kind of type of equipment. Even things just like carrier bags, they can fly in front of signals, block lenses, or they can fly onto the tracks, wrap round, can get caught in the points gears, which stops the points working properly. It could get in the overhead wires, which could cause them to trip, and things like that. So I'm sure the moms are probably doing a lot of mileage today.
30 miles down the track, MOM, or Mobile Operations Manager James Colgan, is ready to respond to any weather-related call-outs.
We're waiting for phone calls in case we get called to anything, and just check that everything's okay, be a bit proactive.
And inside Paddington Control Room, Richard has spotted an issue with an electric train heading towards the station.
5 to 10 minutes ago, we've noticed that Charlie 14 got to here and then it just stopped and didn't move anywhere else at all. And this train here came to a stand here as well. We tried calling the signaller, but the signaller was kind of trying to deal with what was happening from there, from a trackside perspective. So we were trying to deal with that, so he couldn't really talk to us. So we've just had to delay a load of trains on the boards and just do some announcements till we find out what's going on. Well, it looks like we've got overhead wire problems. Not quite sure what's caused them, but...
At route control, news is coming in that the stranded train could be part of a much bigger problem.
We've got some problems up in the Ealing Broadway area. 2 obstructions on the overhead lines, one on the down main at Ladbroke Grove, a piece of metal in contact, and some sort of blue bin line or some sort of bag wrapped around the contact wire on the up relief. So we need to get those removed as a matter of urgency.
The damage has caused nearly 10 miles of overhead lines, or OLEs, to suddenly lose power, and electric trains running in and out of Paddington are grinding to a halt.
You've got 3 OLE incidents, haven't you?
Yes.
Because if you've got OLE guys going to that metal issue, you've got OLE guy going there.
That was a low voltage job. The ADD was actually a low voltage. Whether that's connected with his... I don't know.
Depends where he ended up stopping.
Yeah.
At Paddington, train services have already been affected, and Richard is particularly concerned that a single plastic bag could cause widespread disruption and major damage.
The framework that supports the wires, they get damaged and it sinks down, and potentially a pantograph could rip the whole lot down.
At route control, they're trying to work out whether the overhead lines problem outside Paddington is part of a bigger issue.
We've got 3 incidents ongoing at the moment. We've had a report of a metal object on the down main around the Ladbroke Grove area affecting the overhead line. We've had a bag reported on the up relief line that's also affecting the overhead line, which is currently closed to electric trains. We've got 3 trains stuck at Ealing Broadway. And we've also had a report of a trip-in at the same time.
Sierra November 202, which is the Acton dive under, yeah? OK, mate, yeah, OK, no problem. Is it a diesel train at the front of the queue or electric? They're all electrics. OK, buddy.
Route control manager Ian Willett has to work out which incident is causing most disruption, and the single plastic bag freezing the lines at Acton is top of his list.
Prioritise the up relief at Acton to get this obstruction off the overheads there, because that's a job stopper. Down main at Ladbroke then, because we've got this piece of metal hanging from the OLE that we don't know what that is. And then we've also got the trip-ins to deal with.
We just make sure everybody is on the same page about what we're doing. Because at the moment, it's just all a bit messy, because there's 3 different things going on.
Jane Colgan is the nearest mobile operations manager to where the discarded plastic bag was last seen.
Just had a call from control about a problem with the overheads that has caused 3 trains to become trapped between Ealing Broadway and Paddington. I'm sure we'll get more instruction as we get there. We will do what we can to get those trains moving.
One of the issues also with the bag, though, someone's got to actually go and get it off. If it's still wrapped around the overhead wires, it's not a case you could just go along and just sort of like knock it down with a piece of wood. You've got to do it properly. So it means an isolation for that particular set of area, de-energise it, and then go get it, pull it off, and then wire it back up.
This is also a special announcement for any passengers travelling to Heathrow on the Heathrow Connect service. We regret to advise that the Heathrow Connect service has been suspended. This is due to the overhead power supply issues in the evening.
This event, for really an hour and say 30 minutes, 90 minutes in total, has decimated our delivery of a train service this afternoon.
Sigler has just spoke to me just now. He apparently has a 1 line to use instead of our regular 6 out of Paddington. So it's a bit rubbish right now.
I've been doing this job for 25 years. I cannot recall a previous time where I've had 3 incidents in the same area of the same sort of nature in such a short space of time. No, never.
What they've done is they've taken out all the Heathrow Connect services. That's suspended. A perfect storm. Go ahead.
We should have staff on site at Acton any minute, though. They're at the access point, so just be arranging to get to the site now and remove this obstruction, all being well.
Mobile operations manager Jane has arrived on site and is now checking the overhead cables.
We've just been out with the overhead team looking for what we thought was some plastic bag or plastic netting wrapped around the overheads. It was causing an electrical fault, causing them to trip out, meant some trains were trapped. We've walked quite a long way from Acton up to Ealing Broadway along the cess, but we haven't found anything.
There's no sign of the bag in Acton, but just a few miles down the line, another search team has had better luck.
That's the bag that was on the overheads, which they've now removed because they weren't happy leaving that up there, obviously, when you see it. We believe it probably caused the tripping on the overheads and the loss of voltage when it got wrapped around there. It's not big, but if it got wrapped around the pantograph of a train, I think it could cause issues, so.
The discovery is a massive relief to everyone.
They've re-energised the overheads and hopefully that will do the trick.
1519 normal working. Fantastic. So we're back on a bit of an even keel for a minute, aren't we, I guess? Fantastic.
But Storm Eleanor is about to throw up another problem.
Holy fuck.
A high-speed train has come to a sudden halt on the main line, 70 miles from Paddington.
It sounds like we might also have some problem with a train that's been struck by a falling tree. So that's a potential another headache coming our way. It's better that's happened now than like the middle of rush hour. So all unfolding at the moment. It's a fluid situation, I think it's probably the best way of describing it.
Do you require any assistance at all?
At route control, Ian Willett is listening in on the emergency call with the driver of the Paddington to Penzance train, caught up in the incident.
We're just going to go out and inspect the train now. The windscreen's gone, and I believe the cab has sustained quite a lot of damage. Over.
Okay, so guys, the windscreen has gone, the cab has took quite a lot of damage. We're requiring assistance. We'll get them out to you as soon as possible. Drive it over.
Okay, signal all received. I will get onto our control now, over.
While managers try to pinpoint the exact location of the collision, Mobile Operations Manager Chris O'Brien is dispatched to the area.
The train has made an emergency call in Hungerford area, and he's struck a tree. We don't really know where the train's come to a stand yet or where he struck the tree. The signaler's trying to find that out now. And then control will let me know, and then we'll go see what's happened to the situation, see if the lines are blocked. If it's only one line or both lines, try and make a welfare check on the driver, see how the train's fit for moving. It is very, very windy, and the lorries are all going a bit all over the place as well.
Confirming 1 Charlie 80 has hit the tree just past the chauffeur.
Yeah.
All lines closed.
All lines are closed on the...
Don't know whether the driver's okay, but damage to the train we don't know.
The area we're going to has 2 lines. It's quite a major route, Barks and Hans line, and it has the possibility to get blocked very, very quickly.
Just leave the phone for 2 seconds. I just want to have a little time out so you know exactly what we've got going on. Right, we've got several incidents ongoing. Start with the main one, Hungerford. Train struck a tree. The driver looking round, yeah?
Yeah, both lines blocked.
Both lines blocked. Divert via Swindon to Westbury and vice versa, yeah.
Reading Mom is on the way.
Mom on the way. P-Way on the way.
P-Way are on the way.
Brilliant.
They'll be there 13:20.
Mobile Operations Manager Chris has arrived at the nearest access point to where the high-speed train hit a fallen tree.
I'm at Marsh Road access gate.
He's at the access point. He's got to walk 18 chains down to site.
Route Control Manager Ian speaking. Good afternoon.
At Route Control, there's the first bit of good news for a long time. The line heading towards Paddington is clear and can reopen, but with speed limits.
Fantastic. Fantastic. 20 mile an hour on the up line at Hungerford, then past the site of the tree. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Paul. Thank you, mate. So, live update, 20 mile an hour on the up line.
The train that struck this tree is London side, that's Hungerford side, of Marsh Road Bridge, and it's only about 2 chain off the bridge.
There's 250 passengers on the train. The train manager's going through the train now to assist passengers with any information.
Yep. So, if any GWR fitters need me, I'm only a short distance away. But they must be advised that the up is open and it's limited sighting.
They will have felt a jolt as the train struck the tree. There's no reports of anybody injured or in distress as a result of this incident. So all we're waiting for now is to get our operations and P-Way response on site and tell us exactly what we're dealing with.
Reading, Mum, mate. How are you? Driver, you all right? Been better. No, not as bad as your fucking train. Right, not going forward.
The tree that caused the damage has been pushed aside, and Chris can assess the train and the driver.
Although the tree has gone, we've got extensive damage to the front of the train. The windscreen's broken, some of the dials are broken inside. The drivers who were this way are quite shaken, understandably. We've had a bit of damage to some other bits of kit at the bottom. It wouldn't be safe for this train to go forward as it was. Driver can't see properly, its horn I think is impaired. Some of its lights are also damaged.
As Ian reschedules services around the damaged train, Chris has to work out how to remove it quickly and safely.
I'm currently waiting for a freight train to pass us on the open line. As soon as that train's passed through, the fitter will be able to get a line blockage to do an inspection on that side of the train. Hopefully we'll be on the move then. Partly the customers are all obviously a bit irate.
And the disruption to customers is now heading towards Paddington.
We're going to struggle to get this back quickly for the rush hour. I mean, we'll do our best, obviously, but it's going to be challenging for the guys on the ground.
Engineers are now removing debris and checking the train is fit to move.
We'll give it 10 minutes and we'll have a bit more idea what we're dealing with.
But the news is not good.
It's blowing a gale. What do you want me to get a piece of paper?
Recovering the train is going to be complex. Engineers have decided the front power car is too badly damaged.
Train driver who was. The train can't be driven from the front, so we're going to have to travel in the wrong direction. So we're going to have to travel in the up direction on the down line until we get to Newbury, where there's a junction where we can cross back over to the correct line.
This is the train here that's struck a tree. Currently, both lines up and down at that particular area are blocked, and we're going to have a bit of issue during rush hour because the train's going to be arriving in late into Paddington, and it's going to cause a major headache.
Right, so the fitter's had a check of the train now. We get a driver in the other end, and they'll contact you, OK?
It's now 3 hours since the train struck the tree, and Chris can finally give the go-ahead for the complicated reverse manoeuvre by using the spare driver.
OK, I was off 20 minutes ago. I'm due. You're on paternity leave, are you?
Priority now would be to get this thing moving and then get it somewhere where we can detrain the passengers so we get on their way forward.
Hello, Brian, Thames Valley Control, Reading Mom, Chris O'Brien. OK, so we've had a line blockage up Westbury. Fitter's checked it, he's happy for the train to move.
We only go wrong road as minimum amount of time as possible because obviously it's a non-signalled move. So it has to go at reduced speed, special permission from the signalman.
Reversing 20 miles back down the line to Newbury Station is a massive inconvenience for the stranded passengers. But things could have been a lot worse.
We were lucky the driver wasn't injured. It had been a bigger train, it could have gone down under the wheels and derailed it. But looking at the damage of the power car, it's cracked the cab and done some damage inside. But as I say, we've been lucky with that one. That's the danger in the high winds.
Yeah, it's a good sight to see this train on the move. Hopefully we'll get the people heading roughly towards where they want to go shortly. We try and control everything we can on the railway. We try and put plans in place. Sometimes, though, we can't control the weather. All we can do is prepare as best as we can and hopefully do better than we did last time. It's all about learning. Every day is a school day on the railway.
During peak service, more than 50 trains arrive and depart every hour through a maze of tracks and points on the busy approach to the station. And if any part of it fails, the consequences can be immediate and very disruptive. Mobile Operations Manager George Strether has just got a call about a problem down the line from Paddington.
Yes, so we've been called down to a points failure down at Acton West, and there's a set of points that's showing no detection, which basically the signaller on his panel can either see if the points are set for route A or route B. The piece of equipment that tells him which way the points are set is broken, so he's unable to tell which way the points are. So what we'll do is go down, the technician should already be there by the time we arrive, and we'll go and assist them and see if they need a hand with anything.
It's happened at a busy junction where freight trains join the main line from a West London depot.
So these boxes here is what tells the signalmanist which way the points are set and if they're set correctly or not. So there's a failure either in one of these or over in the box which operates the point motor. So the S&T will do their checks to try and find what the fault is.
Points are movable sections of track and need to be well lubricated in order for them to work efficiently.
The pots he was replacing was like grease pots. When the points move, it pushes grease around the system just to maintain it so it doesn't get dry.
Hi, it's Ashley Paddington, West London S&T. Hi, can we have 8131 points onto normal, please? Yeah, all clear, yeah. We've changed them 2 pots and it seems to have done the trick.
Ah, okay.
But we'll...
The points mechanism is moving freely, but now the engineers need to test the electrical connections that alert signalling control to which way the points are facing.
With this set of points, you need to use a meter to check make sure the electricity is going through there, make sure everything's connected. A lot of other ones you don't need there, but this one you happen to do.
To test the electrics, the points must be manually opened and closed to ensure the connections are fully engaged with the rails.
This is where the hard work is, where the flat does go.
Live trackside engineering is sometimes the only way to eliminate faults, but is also the most dangerous.
Nobody goes over the end of where the sleepers are, and then you know you're going to be clear of this train on the other line. The beauty of having a railway, unlike a motorway, is you know that a train isn't going to come to the left slightly or go to the right slightly. It either sits on the track or it doesn't. It's not on the track at all. And all these guys are experienced people who have been out on the track, all sorts of failures, who know where the dangers are.
The engineers have finally found the problem. A spacer used to bridge the electrical connections needs replacing.
So the signaller, now they've done all the adjustments, the signaller swing the points a couple of times just to make sure it's all working up at his end. And then hopefully that should be job done.
All done, fixed. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a bell next and I'll be in the van.
They fixed a small but vital part of the network, and more importantly, done it quickly. But not all points are as easy to fix. At Paddington, it's Monday morning rush hour, a hectic time for both staff and passengers. And news is coming into route control that's going to pile on the pressure.
Right, are you able to email them at the moment or ring back a bit later? We're a bit busy at the moment.
A P-Way trackside maintenance crew has found a tiny but dangerous fault that could bring services on an important section of the Western Route to a standstill.
The P-Way have found a damaged rail north of Oxford Station through 251 points in the reverse position, and what they've done, they've imposed an emergency speed restriction of 5 miles per hour for every train.
The damage is to the rail switchblade, which moves trains between tracks.
If you look here, see this line just there? That's cracked quite close to the front. So that's the front of the blade, that's a crack. The blade moves up against this rail, and that's when it starts taking the force of the wheels, taking it from one track to another. There's a bit of support with these plates here. The crack's not gone behind the plate yet. When it goes behind the plate, we'll be in trouble. So that'll be visually inspected after every train.
Each time a train passes over the damaged points, engineers have to check the tracks to ensure it's safe for the next train.
If it starts creeping forward to here, once it goes beyond this line here, which is with a blade, where there's a plate attached to the switchblade, at that point the line will close.
But that's not the only challenge. The crack is at a busy set of points used by 3,000 trains per week, and repairing it is not going to be straightforward.
They've got to order the switch. They haven't got one in stock, and they've got to search the country for one, basically, and which will come by courier from somewhere or other. We don't know where yet, which we'll find out. And it's just going to take time to arrive. It's going to be quite complicated, so it's going to be quite a big incident, this is.
In terms of delay minutes, currently 314 trains have been delayed, just under 2,400 minutes delay.
Yeah. Train signal Oxford.
At the Oxford signal box, the signalmen are trying to keep the service running, but they're up against a rapidly deteriorating situation.
How bad is it? Because we've been hearing stories that it could fall apart any moment. I think no crack, well, longitudinal or vertical. Vertical crack in it, yeah. So the crack is getting bigger then. We're talking about the most used set of points in Oxford, with everything needing to use those points to get in and out of the station. The last thing you want is for them to fail completely, where we're unable to run trains over them.
Right,
because then it really will be a showstopper.
At Paddington, the knock-on effect from Oxford is already causing disruption for hundreds of passengers.
Originally, we were told that it would be 2 or 3 minutes here and there would be the delay time running through Oxford. But the annoying truth of that is that those few minutes will then delay it behind another train and then gather, because we generally run at full capacity, especially during peak periods. Most trains coming from Oxford have reached us 20 minutes late, and that's been quite awkward.
At Oxford, the faulty points are being continually checked for further damage. But as traffic increases, engineers realise there's too much strain on the junction, and the points could fail at any moment.
It's on a set of points which 95% of the trains going through Oxford will use. I'm struggling to think of another set of points at Oxford that we use quite as often as these.
Neil now has a dilemma. Keep the trains moving but risk further damage, or stopping all services through Oxford to get the points fixed once and for all.
If they failed catastrophically, every up train will be delayed significantly, and there's roughly 7 trains an hour in that direction going towards London or Reading. We really need to get that defect out because it's sort of crippling us at the moment. If I take the defect out tonight, I remove the risk for the rest of the week. So yeah, it's got to go really. So there we are. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare overnight for the signallers. The team are up against it. They've got a complete hand back, ready for us to deliver the railway in the morning. Can't live with this until the weekend. It's bonkers.
Wait signal will get you on the move very shortly. And just to add, you're aware of the 5 mile an hour speed restriction over the point work?
The signallers now have to work out a system which will allow night shift teams to get on track to mend the points without compromising Oxford's busy night service.
The plan is to replace a broken set of points there, which is in the throat of the station. All the equipment to do it, all of the road railers, all of the spares, all of the new rail is on this side of the railway line. So with that in mind, we have to shut the railway line off completely, no trains, so that everybody can get all their stuff from one side of the railway line to there. When that's done, that'll take maybe an hour. Then they will give back some of the railway line and allow us to run all of our trains during the night, which we think could be 15 trains, safely, but only on one railway, on one railway line. And that's called single line working, and that's what we're going to do.
Single line working is a complicated and challenging system, with trains running both ways on one line.
It's a tense thing to set up. Single line working, it's as old as the hills, but it allows us to move trains on the railway in both directions, usually in times of absolute emergency and when you've got to do it, and usually only at night. This is when you earn your money then, Tone,
Train between facing crossover at 276 points.
In one direction, the trains will have no conventional signalling. We have to advise the drivers via somebody called a pilotman who wears a proper authorised armband, who's a qualified person to do this sort of work. And You know, a combination of the driver who's on the train, who knows his rules and regulations, the pilotman who knows his, and us. We make the railway safe. It's like going up a one-way street.
After an hour of complex manoeuvring of trains, the line is ready to be blocked so engineers can get on track.
These are reminder appliances. The rulebook states whenever we're closing the line, we must place these on the signalling equipment to stop us operating it in error in the relevant area concerned. Right, the last freight liner is currently passing through the station as we speak. The line to be blocked is clear of the last train. Right then, so you have for 147 wire 1124 permission to block the line at 2342.
With the lines made safe, engineers now have just 6 hours to complete all repairs ready for the morning commute.
Hopefully by the morning, we'll have a set of points that are not cracked and are working again. That is the plan.
At the Old Oak Common Depot just outside Paddington Station, the train maintenance teams are gearing up for the night shift.
It's actually like a garage for a car going into servicing. A car you'd have to service once every year. Here they do their mileage a lot more quicker because they're going a lot more miles in every day. It's under-frame exam, upstairs exam, fuel the power cars, top up the coolants, top up oils if they're running out. And it's just a basic daily check now.
But keeping the locomotives up and running is only half the battle.
Did we use a lot of hand towels today?
Yes, they did.
A team of 18 cleaners, led tonight by Mohammed Boujetef, known as Bojo, are about to get down and dirty.
Hold these, you need a pack of these gloves. Right? Right. So you've got people doing toilets, you've got people changing the towels, you've got people doing the vegetable bins and so on. So it's quite a lot involved. It's not a matter of just getting in there and just, clean it. There is a lot to do.
And tonight, Bojo is on a special mission.
Gum. We need to find gum. We've got plenty of bins on the sets. They're in the vestibules, they're also in the carriage. It's just people having that bit of, courtesy to say, you know what, if I've got my litter, I'm getting off at the next stop, I'll take it, I'll just dispose of it correctly. And that's sometimes what's upsetting. That's gum. If it's not actioned, it does cause a nuisance, and the longer it sits there, it has damage to the carpet. And the last thing, you've got a passenger walking through, it's on his shoe and so on. So what this gentleman's going to do is demonstrate what is involved in removing gum. So this chewing gum remover is applied. We then obviously have to leave that for around 5 minutes.
Till then it gets softened.
Yes. So what it does, it breaks the gum is broken down, so it's easier to scrape off using. And what we're going to do, we're going
to scrape this
with
the scraper.
Okay. You can see what's happened is the first layer is obviously the whole aim is to get all of that off until we can see the carpet.
It's a sticky problem, and for Bojo, it's something of a pet hate.
What's astonishing is if you go to people's homes and so on, I guarantee you're not going to have the kind of this issue. Some people are a bit more responsible at home. If you've got your nice carpet that you've laid in the bedroom, I'm sure you're not just going to dump it. Would you want to be doing this at home? Would you want to be using a gum remover and scraper? I'm sure not.
In Oxford, engineers are out on track trying to fix a set of points at the station entrance. It's just a few hours before the morning train service begins, and signallers are having to manoeuvre trains around the worksite.
Driver 2 Lima 76, platform 4. I'm not sure if you're aware of all the set operations tonight due to the emergency possession, but when I signal you into the down carriage sidings, there should be a set already down there on the road I'm signalling you onto. I'd like you to just couple it up and then leave it there.
Flurry of activity, yeah?
It's all go to at the Old Oak Common Depot, where Bojo and his cleaning team have removed the chewing gum and are now cleaning the carriages with a specialist machine.
Come a bit up here, Caetano. Let's start from this patch so the camera. Yeah, right, okay.
But now, something else is coming unstuck.
So basically what's happening is you've still got the chemical procam coming through along with some warm water, so it does warm the water up. And now what's our supply? Right, carry on. Good man. Okay, so this is not right. Our machine is starting to. Yeah. This is white. We'll try a different outlet then. Just bear with us. Bottom line, the carpet machine has obviously just undergone some repairs, some service, and obviously it's first day back yesterday, and we've noticed that it's tripping constantly. So it's leading us to believe that there's an issue with the machine. Obviously we've got a backup, so that's what it is. These are the kind of problems that you will. Right. So spray. There we go. We can see the gentleman. Here we go.
The carpet cleaner might be playing up, but in Bojo's eyes, it sweeps away all competition.
This is a machine that's really designed for onboard train carpet cleaning and at a high scale because of its size. This is not a kind of machine like a Henry you can just pick up and waltz into the train.
And now it's time to move on to the next carriage as the dust never settles on Bojo's watch.
So when our customers come on this train, they need to make sure that everything is spotless. And that's all I can say. It's just part of the job. Gaetano?
It's the start of the morning rush hour at Paddington. Most of the station's services are running well. But at route control, they've had bad news about the progress of the work on the points at Oxford. A minor mishap has caused a bit of a problem.
5:05, the call come in to say that that they couldn't hand it back at the time, so there's still a fault there, and the fault itself was a drill bit, which probably, I don't know, cost a £5. It snapped off while we were trying to put a bonding wire through the rail, and the spare one that they had, that also broke. So they had to go back to Derby and get some more, but like basically for 10 quid's worth of equipment, say, it's cost us, I don't know, 1,500 minutes today, and probably looking at 40 grand in penalty payments, and plus all the inconvenience to the customers. They were turning up to get the trains out, they weren't there, they were running late. And in total, this is a nightmare really, so in total we cancelled 76 trains. We affected 752 trains for a total of 6,500 minutes delay. I say it was all a little bit of a shame really, because right at the end of the day when we expect to run a full service, customers were pitching up at Oxford to find trains late, cancelled. Not very good at all really.